Okay guys, welcome back. Another day in the garage. And today we are working on the green NYG. If you're not familiar with the green NYG guys, check out the links up in the description or up in the right hand corner, you'll see it. What was happening was we were gonna make this a winter car for now. We were gonna sell the Ford. If you weren't familiar with the green car, we were gonna turn this into an all motor, 2-liter, period correct upgrades just because we have them. And we ran into a few issues. A, we ripped the floor pulling into the garage, which is a different video. B, it had a 95 fuel tank, so we want to upgrade it to a plastic tank. C, brake lines were rotten, so we wanted to change them. D, it needs a paint job. So if you're going to paint it, you might as well paint the engine bay as well, which means this has to be pulled out today. Once this is out, we can fix the floor that I ripped on my ramp going into the garage. Paint the floor with Dom 15, and then we will put new brake lines, new gas tank, new filler neck, do the whole underneath of it, power coat some suspension parts. We'll paint the engine bay, put the motor in, and we'll power coat some of that. People that aren't neon guys, I'll show you a thing. This car has a 1-plug ECU. It's a 95 ECU only. So this is a 95 ACR NYG. ACR stands for American Club Racer, which means it was built for SCCA, so to race around the track, slalom racing and stuff. So this is a weird setup because 95 was a 1-year only for this style computer, and they're pretty well useless. So some plugs are different, the dash harness, stuff like that. I want power windows, I want power locks, I want power mirrors, I want a black interior. Let me show you. You'll see here that everything is gray. It looks ugly. I upgraded SRT seats out of my SRT, so that doesn't look bad. But I want to upgrade the door panels to black, I want to upgrade the dash to black, and I have manual windows. It's not going to be original if I do this, but let's face it, it's just a neon. So I will save all the parts just in case later on down the road I decide that this is going to be worth $20,000, which I find it's never going to be. But just in case it is, I'll save all the door panels and all the interior and all the harness. So we're going to pull the motor, we're going to pull the axles, we're going to gut this engine bay, and then we're going to gut the interior, and we're going to swap this to a 98 neon RT harness, which gives me power windows, power locks, power mirrors, gives me black dash, blah, blah, blah. So let's get this up in the air and have some fun. Like anything, I'll start with taking the rad out, and then I'll start doing all the grounds off. And then I'm going to get the AC disconnected, get the intake manifold off, well, the cold air intake off, the battery tray out, and then just undo all the wiring up top. And then we are going to jump underneath, pull the axles, undo the 3 mounts, and it's ready to come out. So it shouldn't really take that long at all. That's the bad thing, is when the bolts snap. So we're gonna have to weld a nut onto that afterwards. We're gonna get that out before we get this ready for primer. But an old car, things tend to happen. So the downfall of a car sitting around for a while is you'll get squirrels. Here, I'll show you. So you see that's where the computer was, and that was a squirrel's nest starting. And then you had an acorn sitting around too. So I'm going to just continue tackling this out, guys. I'll show you a little bit along the way, and then we're going to pull her out and clean up this engine bay, which is a disaster. Well, I guess I was a little late, so I couldn't bang them out, and then I kind of felt bad. Because if you have been following, I actually have like torn, high-grade tear in my elbow. My other elbow's been killing me, so I can't really use my elbow much. So with me banging on it, I couldn't get it. So I asked Jeff to come over and do it for me, and thankfully he did show up. But he couldn't get it either. So we had to use the air chisel to get those two bolts out, which is quite good.
Beat it with a hammer first.
Yeah, and then the air chisel. So they were in there. Which is weird because those coils went on last year, and they're threaded. So I don't know.
Did you get that unbolted up there?
It's a couple threads holding it in spot. Yeah.
I was gonna say, want to pop it down or you?
Well, I want to make the car a roller still,
I guess.
so should be fine. So as you see, he's pulling the axle out. I don't know where the light is. Oh, it's on top of the car.
What spindles is it?
First gens.
They're bolt-in ones.
No idea. It might be a 95 thing.
Oh yeah, I think it is. Because then on the second gens they went back to the bolt-on.
So turn it sideways, pull the one side out, which you already have it almost there, and then that should help you there. There you go. Nope. Is it still that hard? Still bound up. Oh no, you're all the way out. It's just you got to pull the spindle down first. Get out of there. So usually these aren't this terrible of a job to do.
Yeah.
But I guess it does
These
help.
are probably original axles that have never been out.
And the car has 70,000 original miles.
And sat for however long. Also 95.
Might be a little loud. Cover your ears. Wasn't bad at all. Come on. Maybe I spoke too soon. There you go. Bang! She goes. You want to do the axle? Or did it already move?
I don't know. I'm trying to.
I think you hit it already, so it should be good. Oh yeah. It's good.
Yeah, I'll make it.
It'll come out as easy as possible. Usually it just slides right out anyways.
Yeah, I'm gonna just disconnect the ball joint anyways, just because.
So as you guys see, we got the driver's side done. I got the tire back on it already, so that way we can drop it down and then push it back. We're gonna take this axle out, and then literally it's bring the engine crane in and I do two mounts and pull it out.
Pull another engine.
Yeah, and we're probably gonna put it where those surprises that Jeff brought that I haven't showed you guys yet. So when Jeff's doing the hard work like always, Jeff managed to get two winches for in here that plug into 110 at that too, which is pretty wild. So we're gonna have winches in the bays that pull cars in and out if they don't run, which is quite nice because pushing
quite often.
Yeah, and pushing does suck. So
especially when you're broken.
yeah, it's almost like we're moving up in the world. Okay guys, so we're on our last bolt. Couple hours with some rusty bolts and we're out. We only broke the one that was right here that I showed you guys earlier.
I'm not gonna get at this with the wheel on.
Turn it sideways, can you get at it or no?
Maybe.
So Jeff's taking out the last bolt for the transmission mount and then it's ready to pull out. So the job is we're gonna pull it out and then maybe I'll do it later today or Jeff, or tomorrow when Jeff's not here, but the dash is coming out, the engine harness is coming out, this engine bay is being stripped of everything so it can be painted, and then the new brake lines, we're gonna paint the master cylinder, and then we'll start putting stuff back in. So take a good look at this picture now, you see what the motor looks like. The next one is gonna be all power coated, all done nice, and it should look fairly new. So hopefully Dodge still sells the water lines that go under the intake manifold, because they're hard to find a decent one. Motor is out. That actually didn't take that long at all. So you'll see that there is a little bit of rust there, obviously nothing too crazy, just some surface rust. Same with along here.
It's a 24-year-old car, so.
It is extremely old car. It is 24 years old. So yes, exactly. What's going to happen is the harness is going to come out, the master is going to come out, the brake lines, fuel lines are going to be cut out, and the AC is coming out. We're going to do an AC delete. So where the canister is here, it's going to be welded up. That's going to be flat. And then that we'll buy a neon cover, stainless steel cover, or get Jeff to bend something at work if the case may be. But I don't think I'm doing evap. So we'll end up welding that hole up too where the evap canister would be.
The Mopar PCM deletes evap, doesn't it? I think.
Go fish. It's been so long I can't remember myself. But we're not having evap no matter what. So
Cool.
it's really not that bad.
Oh.
This motor will not be going back in because, like I said, I'm going with the newer style. So there's 3 or 4 to choose from. This is the original with 70,000 miles.
Well, any of the 96.5 are the same plugs on the engine side. It's the harness on the computer side that changes between 96, 97 is the same, and 98, 99 is the same. I think it is.
Yeah, but we're changing the head gasket, water pump, timing belt, and paint in the block.
So we can use whichever one. We got them all.
All of ours have low miles too, like 100,000, 110.
Yeah, that one in there, that one there. Like,
yeah, there's 4 here.
Yeah.
So one's for the Roadsters, one's for this. So we'll paint the block black. We'll paint the transmission silver.
Yeah, it's just
We're gonna end up power coating this kind of stuff, and we're gonna end up porting it.
I was gonna say I want to get into porting a lot of the stuff back, like the factory stuff.
So
Make optimize the stuff that we got. See how good it can work. Yeah, I'm sure like Indy intakes and everything.
Indies were no good for NA.
I thought they were.
They outflowed. They were only good for turbo, and the fit up they had were no good.
I thought a lot of guys made some half decent power on Indy ones.
No, they were terrible.
Really?
Yeah, they all leaked, and it wasn't worth the headache.
Yeah.
They outflowed an NA setup. So we're gonna leave it at that, guys. We're gonna push this off to the side, and then we're gonna call it a day. Tomorrow, I'm gonna obviously come out here, and I'm gonna pull the dash out, so I can get the harness out, and then start prepping. Hopefully, Jeff will get those plates cut up this week, so I can get the floor welded up, and then we can paint the floor, get the gas tank in, brand new filler neck, gas tank straps. Excuse me. Front and rear sway bars can go in. Aftermarket, we have the what do we have? Suspension Technique front and rear sway bars. and then we're probably going to powder coat the springs off the BC coils, and then it's just literally start putting it back together. So I'd like it to be a running car, but we'll wait and see.